Thanks for tuning into the Adam Carolla Show. You can watch the full show on YouTube. Just search Adam Carolla Show and hit subscribe so you never miss an episode. You can also get the podcast wherever you like to listen. And for extra content, ad-free episodes, and more, you can head over to our Substack and sign up today. Yeah, get it on. Got to get it on. No choice but to get a mandate. Get it on. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for telling a friend. I love that about you. Lahna Turner in the studio. Feels weird to say that name fast, but I don't know if you're named after the Lahna Turner. Just something that's
not intentional.
Parents just like the name Lahna.
They like the name Lahna, and then they weren't worried about it. They spelt it different, so they put an H in it.
Well, it's academic now because no young person knows anything about anything ever. And I have these guys in my office, and I just go, Lahna Turner, anybody? I go, nope. I go, one guy, Andrew. He's an old soul. But nobody.
Well, he actually knows me, so.
No one under 30 knows the old, 40s siren blonde bombshell Lahna Turner.
I'm the new Lahna Turner.
So, you do comedy and you play music, and you now are doing a documentary about Ralphie May. You were married to Ralphie for how many years?
We were married for about 10 years. We were together for 17 years.
17 years. A very moving doc. Ralphie was a complex guy who's, but funny and always sort of interesting, I guess. Some comedians can be a little bit boring.
He's not boring. That's said not like saying. Now. He's still not boring. I'm still like, you're right. Nothing boring about, that's what caught me with him. Like, I fell in love with him, and it was a very unusual, obviously, an unusual couple. But,
I mean, he was real big when you guys met, right?
Yeah. Did you saw some of the film?
Yeah, I saw quite a bit of it.
Okay, yeah. When we met, he was 800 pounds.
Was he 800 pounds when you met?
Now, and I did not know he was, I didn't look at him and go, that looks like 800 pounds. I just, he said he was 5'10" or something. Was he? He was 5'9", yeah.
He was not 6 foot.
No.
And because, if you're 6'2" and you're 800 pounds, maybe you can get away with it.
Can you?
No.
Okay.
I'm making a joke.
Yeah. You'd have to be like 15 to 20 feet tall to play.
Easily. Yeah. So, well, let's put it to you this way. Shaq, at his biggest, looked like a man playing with boys, was probably 320.
Right.
So to get to 800.
Yeah, the proportion.
So he was 800 pounds.
Yes.
At his biggest.
Yeah.
What did he get? What did he get down to? What was he at his lightest?
Felt maybe 450 to 5.
And I knew Ralphie a bit. I didn't know him well. I've always heard sort of stories about him. Consumption, zest for life, joie de vivre. What do you do? So you met him were you guys at a comedy club?
I met him at the Houston Laugh Stop. Yeah,
comedy club.
Didn't think that. We never thought I would date him. We just became friends, and he was so funny and fun and large in every way.
And you were saying in the doc that the guys you dated before Ralphie were fit.
Yeah, I'm not a chubby chaser. I wasn't like, ooh, another moped, let's ride that. I was like, Women have a lot of flexibility in that department, I would say. Do they? Yeah. I don't know. Maybe they're more forgiving.
I think you're kind of saying you do.
I did. I mean, I don't. Yes, maybe women are more forgiving. I don't know. Men seem more
they're less aesthetic, and so it's not as important.
Maybe not all women. I didn't know that I was not into aesthetics. I just I don't know.
Women are more into substance, personality, sense of humor, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah, I mean, it's easy to generalize. Maybe people are like, oh, or into money or success, or Ralphie was broke. I was just he was definitely sustenance.
My theory isn't that women are they don't chase money, because any rock band that you've never even heard of can be up on stage The guy can drive a van during the day. Right. And there's still tons of women super attracted to that guy.
Oh, yeah.
And I think what they're attracted to is not, well, that guy's in Guns N' Roses, he's rich. It's more like that guy's doing what he wants to do. And there's something that's attractive about that to women. They like, it's even a rebel-y thing, you know, which is like working at the UPS store is not attractive because the guy doesn't want to do it.
Yeah, I mean, wearing brown is not as sexy as leather.
Not a good color.
Yeah.
Yeah, although brown leather. But
yeah,
so there's some, I think women are attracted to guys that are doing what they want to do.
Yeah, I mean,
even if they're pursuing it.
Being on stage does really like change the perception, right? Like when you're saying that, like look at all the comedians we know, like off stage, but they score. Like yeah,
off stage,
hot women. Like
you mean off stage? They don't.
And they might not. Like if they weren't, you know, funny and on stage, maybe they wouldn't get as.
Oh, you're saying an ugly guy minus a sense of humor and being on stage is not going to score?
Yeah, like
let me write that down.
Yeah, let me remember that for next time.
So if you're an ugly guy with a shit personality and you're never on stage. I mean,
a great personality, not attractive guy, but being on stage maybe or being. Yeah.
You know, my other theory is women have to worry about safety because they can't just go home with a stranger or go, you know, leave the club, whatever. There's an issue. And when you're on TV or on stage, they know you. They know who you are. And it makes it a lot easier. You know, they don't, they don't, but they know you're not some fucking rapist that blew into town. You know, they kind of, you can be, but they feel like they know you and they feel safe.
Yeah, big mistake.
Well, I would say on average, you're probably going to be safer with somebody who's on a sitcom than some guy who just drives a truck or who just can't, who you have no idea who he is.
And the first person to pop in my head was Bill Cosby.
I was thinking Bob Saget, but okay.
Oh, yeah, no, Bob Saget, yes. Very safe. Very, very safe.
Yeah, well, the other thing, too, is the person, if they're on TV or they have anything, they have stuff to lose. Like, they have to be careful or they have to try. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. You think. Yeah, maybe.
So you say no?
I don't know. I know too many pervy dudes that have been on TV, maybe, at this point.
What do they do? No, I'm not saying you. I'm just saying women, when they see somebody on TV, they think they're safe. They know them is what I'm saying. For sure.
That's
my theory.
And also, you're already like interested in them. Like you feel like you know them. Right? Yeah.
But it's sort of the same thing that like if you went to a club and there's a guy you went to high school with or something, and you're like, oh, hey, Steve, and then Steve is like, let's go out and smoke in the parking lot. And be like, okay, because feel like you know the guy. Yeah,
like I went to school with Cosby. You'd be like, hey, Bill.
Yeah, hey,
Bill.
My
God, I've been watching the show, and the next thing you know, you're like sleep on his couch.
Up.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was listening to somebody talk about Eric Swalwell, and it was funny. They went, he goes, they were talking about it. He corrected himself. He goes, he drugged her drink. And I'm like, you can just say drugged her. That's the same. That
seems like some legalese.
Maybe.
But it slipped out of his wallet into her cocktail.
Who are the nice, so you guys, I mean, you and Ralphie must have just, did you hang out with a lot of comics?
Like early on I don't know. And just in life? Or did Ralphie and I hang out with comics? You mean?
Did Ralphie and you hang out with comics?
Yeah, sure.
You did?
Yeah, a lot, yeah.
Who'd you hang out with?
Well, we always had these like big barbecues. So, I mean, just all kinds of people showed up. Everyone, I mean, in the film we have some of the people who are the most influential for him in his career. I mean, you wouldn't know who Ralphie was if it wasn't for Jay Moore. Like, Jay is the reason why Ralphie became famous.
Really?
Yes. And so early on when I first moved to LA, it was wild. Like, Jay would come over and just hang out in our little studio apartment. And I was like, yeah, you're that guy, and like, and Jeff Ross was pretty influential in Ralphie's early part of his career.
Yeah, Jeff always loved. I didn't know that about Jay. I knew it about Jeff. I knew Jeff always loved Ralphie.
Yeah, Jay brought him on the road early on and then put him on More Sports, one of his first opportunities. And then I really feel like, Jay says in the film, I couldn't put Ralphie on Last Comic Stand. He had to get through the competition, but he was very influential in making sure that Ralphie had his career. Like I always say that, you know, if you have luck meeting opportunity, Ralphie's luck was Jay.
Really?
Yeah, he was prepared. He had comedy, he had jokes, but nobody really wanted to put Ralphie on TV. I mean, he was told to his face that he wouldn't be put on TV. He had done a few little spots, but I mean, no one's putting. I mean, first off, he was also an insurance risk, especially the further on he got in his career and the older he got. You couldn't insure him, so he could do something for a day or record a stand-up special, but he wasn't going to book like a sitcom.
He couldn't be insured because of his weight.
Yeah.
Interesting.
He couldn't be insured in life. Like you couldn't get him a life insurance policy.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. No one's, kind of like fire insurance now in LA. It's not happening.
You know, it makes me think.
Sorry to bring that up,
Dawson, you're going to have to look for something. But there was a famous incident with him and doing Jimmy Kimmel's show.
Oh, where he fell.
Yeah, like 18 years ago. A long time ago.
You remember this one?
I remember it because there was a big discussion with Cousin Sal and maybe Jimmy and maybe Jeff Ross. And Ralphie always said it was a Pratt fall, like he did it on purpose. But if you watch the tape, it clearly doesn't look like it was on purpose.
Never. So one thing, if you got far enough into the film, we would try and tackle Ralphie's film is interesting because it's not just a biopic. It's also a documentary because we started filming him while he was alive. And so, like, there's an important component to him. Like, he was an addict, and addicts love to bend the truth. And once you say something, when you're that good at making things up, you can't deviate from it. So he claimed he didn't fall on purpose. He totally fell on purpose. Oh, there you go.
Oh,
yeah. Jeff... I mean, not on purpose. I mean, he fell by accident, but he claimed he did it as a Pratt fall. So
this is Jeff. This is Jimmy. I mean, this got to be year 1, year 2. Or something.
It was. The show was fresh on the air. Yeah.
Yes.
Our next guest. And
you guys ready for some hilarious comedy?
Wow. Jeff with hair.
Yes.
Our next guest, besides being my good friend, is just the funniest guy I know, and we got him live in person. Please, everybody, a big, warm welcome for the one and only, hilarious Ralphie May.
His recovery is so good, though.
He got back on his
feet. They said break a leg, so I gave it a shot.
He had it.
I gave it a shot.
All right. Yeah. To be fair, they do a lot. In those shows, you stand in a dark corridor. They have a black curtain. The thing opens up. You're wearing like dress shoes sometimes, too. And the light hits you. And then weird, uneven, fake stairs that you've never walked up and down. You're liable to eat shit.
I mean, and he bounced out of that and but you know what? He had a bruise on his leg that never went away.
From that
fall. Yep.
That is from 2003.
Yeah.
That must have been season 1, season 2?
Yeah, no, it was the very beginning of the show. Yeah.
I was there. At the beginning, but I would leave and go do Loveline at night, I think, and so maybe I was gone or something. But you solved the mystery.
Well, I mean, that's my belief. Ralphie, if he was here right now, I don't think he would ever let go of the idea that he did that on purpose. I mean, there's the slightest chance that maybe he didn't realize how far down he would fall. Like he was like planning, I'm going to do something. I don't think so, though. That doesn't look like it. That looks like Big Guy
took a nosedive.
Yeah.
So you meet Ralphie. You're doing comedy. He's doing comedy. And you're immediately attracted to the personality.
As a friend. Yeah. I mean, I fell in love with him as attracted. Yeah. I mean, yeah.
To his personality.
Yeah, yeah.
And then how does it progress from there?
Well, he was dividing his time between LA and Houston. And so we got to know each other on the phone, talking a lot. When phone calls cost money back then, but we still talked a lot. And he was so funny.
Yeah, I agree. And had not derivative at all, just sort of his own comedian.
Just super quick. Yeah. And
now, how was your career going at the time? Playing music, stand-up, doing music and stand-up?
Stand-up, I mean, I walked into the Houston Laugh Stop, did the open mic, and then because I had music, I was working 2 months later at the club, just opening. And so I started really quick. I didn't know I was going to be a comedian. I had a different career trajectory at the time. I was actually working in the news media, and I had spent a lot of time prior to that. I was working as a still photographer for newspapers. At 19, I was interning at the Associated Press. So I was really into it. And then I spent the year prior, so when newspapers started folding, I was like, oh, maybe this isn't my career choice. I'd had a major car accident. My back hurt for the first time. Lifting my camera was painful. So I took a year and I traveled. I'd saved up enough money working. I actually was doing pretty well back, during my 20s. And then I started going, and when I came back from my travels, I worked at the local news station, and that was when I started doing stand-up. And I never thought I'd do comedy, but I'd been writing songs since I was like a little kid. So dirty, not dirty songs. Started doing that, that needed a special place.
Stand-up.
Yeah.
I mean, on stage.
Yeah.
Yeah. Ralphie, I think, was in here telling me he got in a horrible car crash when he was in high school. I think. Was it high school?
It was when it was like 16 to 17.
I was going to say high school.
Yeah. So he told you about the car crash.
Yeah.
So we tackle that in the film too.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's an interesting part of the film because he had this whole story about how he crashed the car or he rolled it down an embankment. He was hit by a drunk driver. That whole thing. 72 separate breaks.
Yeah. I mean, he
was
really
in a
bad.
coma, a stent in his brain.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, he broke his clavicle.
Oh, was he lying about all that stuff?
So, yeah, I mean, all these things are covered in the film, which is really wild.
Yes.
I mean, I spent most of my entire marriage with him believing he'd been in a terrible car accident, and that's what spawned his weight gain at 17. And then it was actually his sister, after he and I split up, I was devastated and maintained a relationship with his mother.
Why were you devastated?
When he and I split up?
Yeah.
Because I wasn't the one that filed for divorce, even though I should have been. Despite what many people believe, I wasn't the one that prompted that. He
did it.
Yeah, I was not going to be around him because he was dangerous to be around the kids and he needed to go to rehab.
Rehab for alcohol or?
Prescription pain pills.
And you thought he was dangerous. So you didn't want to...
He was erratic. His behavior was erratic and not okay.
You didn't want to be around him, so you wanted to be separated.
I just needed not to be... It was just... His behavior was not okay. So
right. So you were separated.
Yes. And I didn't believe in divorcing him because...
But he filed for divorce.
He did. Yeah.
So
and then he unfiled. And then he refiled in secrecy. And then I found the filing, and then I had to file too, because I'm not going to woohoo, file on me once.
So you were hoping that you could separate and he could get into rehab or something?
He had done a stint in rehab before. I don't know what I was hoping for. I just knew that it wasn't. We had young kids. I think, gosh, I mean, the divorce part of my life was not an easy chapter. So I think there was part of me too that was afraid of what that might look like, and it was horrible. And so, I mean, I just wanted him to get healthy and well. I didn't think that, look, I have a way of idealizing things. I married an 800-pound man, or 500 when I married him, hoping that he would get well. And so I kind of held on to that notion for many, many years too long. But I loved him. I mean, I married him and had children with him and really was in a difficult position. And I don't know that he even wanted to get a divorce. He did not take himself to the divorce attorney. There's people in the film that took him, and they're actually on camera showing who they are. And it's an interesting project because a lot of it was recorded. So I really don't even have to tell the story because it's told by Ralphie, actually. So...
Yeah, he chronicled that.
He did.
That seems...
It's wild.
Peculiar. Well, he could have been high. I mean, people
he could have been. He was high.
People do crazy things when they're high,
Yeah.
Yeah, so that whole car accident, he came in here and told me chapter and verse about every bone that was broken and all the stuff that had happened, and I just took him at his word.
And I'll have to tell you, that was a story that he held on to forever. So, like, even though it's totally not true, and even I feel like a little weird being here saying, oh, yeah, even in the film, I feel weird, like, oh, yeah, it wasn't true. But I think it's important for people to hear that about him post-mortem, because it's such a common experience with addiction. Like, I think it's important for people to understand, like, there's such a deep set lying pattern that goes into this stuff. Like, he couldn't take responsibility for the fact that he'd put on so much weight. He needed a reason. He probably had a very good, real reason, but he couldn't connect those dots for himself. And it's really interesting, actually.
I think he probably even had a part that before the accident he was playing football or whatever, or fit or high school ball or some version of that. I don't know if that was. It's been a few years, that's for sure. He
was athletic in a way that's pretty remarkable. Like, I mean, just to be able to carry that much weight around. Like, I never knew when I met him how heavy he was. Mm-hmm. When I actually found out the number, you're like, what? Because, I mean, you probably saw him. He walked around. He carried himself. Yeah. He was very strong, mm-hmm. and he was coordinated. Mm-hmm. And I see it in my son. My son's not overweight at all, but he's, like, super coordinated. He doesn't get that from me. So.
Right.
Yeah, he could have been a good athlete. His mother actually says that. He said he could have been an athlete if he wasn't so heavy.
What was his eating habits like? Like, what do you do to get to weigh 800 pounds, like, or even maintain that?
You don't eat in front of me. Mm-hmm. Like, I caught him eating in front of me every now and then. I would find wrappers. I would find, like, food containers in the car, but not in front of me. Wasn't that weird?
What would he do in front of you?
Not eat like that. Maybe when we went out to eat, he'd have a little more than. But I mean, he had his stomach like constricted, right, with gastric bypass. Mm-hmm. And before that, he'd even had a stapling. Like, the guy had multiple surgeries to try and stop himself from being able to eat. So he had to eat around that, and not in front of me. There was one time. There were a few times, and only a few in all of those years together, that I caught him doing something that was like, what the heck are you, like, he, like, one time he was home from the road and we had a birthday party, and I had one of those Costco M&M bags in the pantry, because I kept sugar and food out of my house. I still do to this day. I don't have sweets. I don't have ice cream. Keep it out. And I probably have my own weird food things after, like, all those years with him. But
I would say you could develop that.
I definitely have weird food stuff. But this one bag of M&Ms kept after the party, because you can bake cookies with them. And I found the bag. He had eaten the entire bag, and there's like 52 portions in that bag in like a 48-hour window. Uh-huh. And I was like, what? It's just shocking. I mean, you have to have that many calories to maintain your weight when you're that size.
Right.
So that was one of those times that I was like, wow, you just did that. And of course I'm upset by that. But he hit it. And it's in the film, too. He has, there's a guy who comes in, who was our roommate early on when we were broke and living off Crenshaw, this guy, Sean Anderson, who moved into our apartment, and we didn't know him, but he showed up and he was the same. He was like almost the same size as Ralphie. I thought it was like a funny sitcom. It was like me and two fat men living in an apartment. But he talks about how when I would leave, they would party and just get like a giant thing of Popeyes and just eat until they were sick. And then if I was around, it was not. They would get rid of it. I was like the one they were hiding it, like I'm their mom or something. I was just really strange. I think he knew, like, I wouldn't be able to tolerate that. But he was an addict, so he would use and abuse when I wasn't there. And then I know the addictions to things and the hiding evolved throughout our lives.
And he's on the road a fair bit, so he can do whatever he wants in that town, right?
Yeah, totally.
Yeah, the roads and the attic stuff is kind of tough for comedians.
Yeah.
So
is this like therapy?
Yeah. Well,
in front of a lot of people.
Bowl and branch. If you notice your sheets slipping off the corners lately, or maybe your pillows just don't feel supportive anymore. Most people keep their bedding for way too long, and that's why I upgraded my bed with Bowl and Branch. Listen, at my age, sleep is not negotiable. And Bowl and Branch bedding is designed for exactly that kind of rest. I mean, study after study about how important sleep is. Please, people. I can say I've genuinely been sleeping better since I made the switch to Boll and Branch. I started with just the signature sheets, but I just got the waffle blanket, and now the whole bed feels amazing. It's Boll and Branch, right, Dawson?
Upgrade your sleep with Boll and Branch. Get 15% off your first order plus free shipping at bollandbranch.com/ACS with code ACS. That's Boll and Branch, BOLLAND, branch.com/ACS. Code ACS to unlock 15% off. Exclusions apply.
Cheers. Well, I'm getting a little bit older now, and I have a couple of beers at home. I can kind of feel it the next day, and that's why there's Cheers. When I tried Cheers to Restore, I was a bit skeptical at first, but the next morning caught me off guard, and I felt real good, real normal. And that's what Cheers does. You take it after your last drink, before bed, and it works while you sleep. Their claim to fame is you feel 50% better or your money back. The DHM in Cheers works while you sleep to smooth out that rebound for your brain. Cheers is backed by doctors, PhDs, and over 1,000 verified clinicians. It's Cheers, right, Dawson?
Take Cheers Restore after your last drink or before going to bed and wake up feeling at least 50% better or your money back. For a limited time, our listeners are getting 20% off their entire order by using code ADAM at cheershealth.com. Just head to cheershealth.com and use code ADAM for 20% off after your purchase. They will ask you where you heard about them. Please support our show and tell them our show sent you.
I'm going to go a little deeper here.
Oh, no. Don't make me cry.
How does one be intimate with someone who's that size? I can never mathematically figure it out.
Yeah, it wasn't like my favorite intimacy thing. Let me be honest. I like, but yeah. You really want to know?
How do you make love to someone who's 800 pounds?
I mean,
can you?
Things work.
Everything worked.
Everything worked, but it just was not as comfortable for me. Maybe
I could. Yes, yeah. Sorry to laugh. I could see it being. I literally. To me, it's not even a sexual thing. It's like it's like an engineering problem.
Yeah, no, you should ask those questions because it seems like a curiosity that that's really, you know what, you should have just gone right for that question.
I know, when people go, I'm fit, I'm young, I'm attracted to this 700-pound guy, the first thing everyone thinks is, how's that work?
Right, of course. You know what, everything that you've asked me so far pales in importance to this question now. It's
certainly front and center for most Americans who are listening.
Yeah. I mean... Yeah,
you got to get on top, right?
Not always.
Really?
But this is such a bummer because there was a point in our marriage where it's so sad. I kind of checked out a little bit at some point. And I'm not, I had my own stuff in that I've worked on post.
You check out, you had like another man?
No, checked out like mentally.
Well, I get it.
Yeah.
But why?
Why did I do that?
No, I mean, if the guy's an addict and he's like, thing about addicts is they live a separate, secret life. So you're not really, you don't get all of them. You get the part they want to show you, and then they have a kind of a secret life, and they have to guard it and like defend it and protect it. So you're never really with the person 100% because they're always somewhere else. I mean, they're waiting for you to leave so they can
do something else.
What they got to do, or they're just high, like they're not there. You know, you're checked out, but you're checked out because they're checked out because they're addicts. You know.
Yeah. Well, no, and I'll say oral works.
Yeah.
And fat guy eats.
No, fat guy eats. Yeah, that's a good point.
Eat a lot. So that that was fun at first. Like that was the entry point, so to speak, of the beginning of the real. And then the But the actual like physical part that took some gymnastics. And when we first in our first apartment, there was like a hook in the ceiling that was there before from somebody else who had like some fancy chair, and I was like, I would die. That would be the end of me. So there was no fun like
Wait a
crazy.
minute. What would be the end of you?
Like the whoever left that hook in the ceiling had fun on that hook. It like had some sort of a
like
chair,
a sex chair,
something. Yes.
Well, you said
that's
fancy chair.
Yeah,
but you mean like a sex swing?
Yeah, like a sex swing of some kind. That's not happening with a fat man. So it was very much like danger points.
Yeah.
But I have to the entry point was like oral, and then that went on for a long time, and then we were able to get pregnant, and we were able to be together, and I loved him very much. And
you just got pregnant through conventional methods.
Normal,
Wow.
which I didn't expect to happen. Like I figured that there was no way we were going to get pregnant because like I read a thing in Men's Health that said if you're above a certain weight, like sperm won't they're too hot to go anywhere. I feel like hot, lazy sperm.
Everybody,
he's sitting on the couch. The sperm
everyone's
aren't
got
going
a theory
anywhere.
about everything, and then
And
everyone
still
gets
get pregnant
anyway.
And my kids are awesome.
They'll do that thing where they go, if you're smoking, that you don't think I smoked in the 40s and got people pregnant? Yeah, but for cigarettes, it's like, if you're drinking alcohol and it's like everyone drank, everyone smoked, and everyone got pregnant.
If anything, they got pregnant more.
They got more pregnant.
Yeah.
So I don't know what you're talking about. But I read Men's Journal.
Yeah,
there's
like,
always
I'm not
that
getting pregnant.
bullshit.
But I loved him. Like he was very, to me, he felt very safe and cuddly and squishy, and like it was, like a nice cuddle to be with somebody who was like smushy and cuddly. Like, of course, I'd prefer abs, but like there's some sort of safety in that, and there was some sort of probably anger at my mother, and it all kind of worked for me at the time. But I did love him.
Did he ever stray from the relationship?
Yes, I think at the end there was infidelity, and I figured that out. Like,
how'd you figure that out?
There were some things that I pieced together while we were together at the end of our marriage. I was like this, but of course, being an excellent liar, he was able to like convince me that those things that I must be just out of my mind. But then when we did separate, the old adage, is that the word? Of your grandmother being like, clean your underwear before you leave the house in case you... Yeah, adage, thank you.
Clean your change your underwear in case you get into an accident.
Clean underwear. Clean your cloud, because...
Clean your cloud.
When you go, somebody might see your cloud.
When you go...
And if there's something in your cloud...
When you go where?
To the other side. When you kick it.
When you kick it.
You might leave a digital trace of things. And so I could see in his cloud, okay. I was able to assemble things together and find things out and figure things out. So
why look in his cloud when he's gone?
Because when he passed, there was $17 in his bank account, $300,000 in debt, and $80,000 probate. And I figured there was some missing money in accounts. Mm-hmm. So I wanted to explore and see what I could find.
So he was making good money before he passed? When did he pass?
9 years ago, roughly, yeah. October, was it October? I should know this date, like on the back of my hand, but yeah.
October.
So October, and 9 years ago now.
Okay,
yeah.
well, we'll figure it out.
Yeah, do the math on it. I don't do well with dates.
He's
like
out
holidays.
Doing dates every weekend?
On the road a lot, yes.
On the road a lot.
Yes, and I would go and meet him a lot, and I would bring the kids and try to keep us together as a family. And early on when we first had my daughter, and before her, we would travel together. It was a lot of fun.
You can just put the date on the screen.
Yeah,
put Ralphie passed on. I got it. October 17th.
17th.
Yeah. No, 2017.
Okay. October, was it 8th or 9th or something?
6th.
It's close.
6th. Well, it doesn't. I don't know what. I don't even know why people get into actual dates. But
I
just want to know he's been gone. He's been gone. We're talking coming up
9 years.
Right. What's coming up on 10?
Is it
right?
10?
Or coming up on 9? Coming up on 9. Sorry. All right.
A lot.
So he's working and he's playing clubs and theaters and stuff, and he's making good money out on those weekend dates, right? So there should be some money around. What was he spending it on?
No, the last year or so, I wasn't communicating with him, and he emptied my bank accounts. And
you didn't have spousal support or child support or that stuff?
Well, we didn't. So you're going to be like, what the heck? When he filed for divorce, he did so in Tennessee. We had 2 houses. We had one in LA and one in Tennessee, which was one of the reasons why I believe that he could get.
Where did you get married?
Las Vegas.
Oh, okay. All right. So it's not Tennessee or Los Angeles. All right. So sorry.
And so, gosh, he filed for divorce in Tennessee. I responded in California. The kids were in school here, had been only in school here, and he wanted, drumroll, how much custody?
How much
custody?
Wait. How much?
He wanted 0 custody.
He wanted 0 custody.
So I wanted to stay in LA with
I didn't know if you were talking about payment or
no,
sorry.
He wanted 0 custody.
He wanted 0 custody. Well, why would he want 0 custody?
He wanted 0 custody. He didn't.
That's why?
Yeah.
Because he wanted 0 custody?
I don't know. You have to ask him, and you can't. Like, I think if I had to guess, he didn't. He loved the children, loved his kids, but wasn't really present for them.
How old were they when he passed? Or
7 and 9.
I'm sorry, when you filed. Sorry.
That was about a year earlier, or a year and a half.
All right.
So
you can do the math.
Yeah.
All right. So he didn't want custody.
Nah.
But did he have to pay child support?
Well, when he filed in Tennessee, he wanted to pay Tennessee child support, and I wanted to stay in California, so that created a problem. And then when he called me up,
what's Tennessee child support mean?
Not very much for California.
Right.
And so I said, he called me up and he said, please don't file, like an RFO, request for order. It keeps everybody kind of like nice to each other. So he said, I don't want you to follow the RFO. It'll have a bunch of, because you're supposed to outline all the things that are problematic in the relationship. And there was a lot of things that had happened. And I didn't want to file it either because, as people put it in the tabloids.
Right.
So he called me up and he was like, I promise I'll take care of you. I love you forever. And I said, I said the dumbest words I've ever said. You ready? I said, I want to consciously uncouple like Gwyneth Paltrow.
Wow.
And those are dumb words, right? And I was like, thank you so much. I said, I want to go on vacation with you and your future partner and mine and my future partner, and we can enjoy our children together. And I didn't file an RFO. And a few days later, he filed an injunction in Tennessee. And I couldn't, if I filed anything in California, it would get thrown out because there was paper in Tennessee. And if I went to Tennessee and asked for any help, they would have said, well, the divorce is in Tennessee. And then I would be stuck in Tennessee. And I didn't want to risk that because he didn't want any custody and I didn't want to leave LA. So it was a big freaking mess.
There was no child support and no spousal support?
We were still married when he died, and I had at the very, very end, I had to go to Tennessee, and a judge yelled at him and made him give me some support at the very end of his life.
How were you able to support the kids and you?
Credit card. I also tried to work, and then I'd get fired from work because, if I went to do comedy at a club, his manager at the time, who wasn't a real manager, would call the club and say, Ralphie won't work here if she's there. It was crazy.
Really?
It was completely unhinged, yeah.
Why would... So you wanted to work, you couldn't work as a stand-up?
It was really hard to still work even at that time because I had 2 really young kids and I didn't really, look, it's hard for women to work in general when they have young kids, but now it became really hard for me to work at that time. Yeah.
So you had no income?
No, not really, no. I did little things to try and make cash and I sold my body. No, I'm just kidding. I had a friend of mine give me some gym equipment, and I ran a little gym out of my garage.
Wow.
Yeah, and that made a couple $100 so I could, pay for parking and stuff. But no, I just had to be really my credit cards got jacked up, and I never put anything on my credit card. I never had debt before.
Wow, but that seems like you couldn't keep it going for that long.
No, I know. I managed. I managed for about a year.
So he never gave you any money to support the kids?
During that time, he did a few things. He bought the kids books, or he bought them some clothes, or he paid for them to have some lessons. He was required to kind of try and keep them. He was required to keep the lights on in the house and pay the mortgage. But anything that he wasn't.
Oh, okay.
And he loved the kids. I don't think he was trying to punish the kids. I think he was, honestly, like, knowing him, like, Ralphie was not a bad person. And I won't let that go out. That, like, I think he was a sick man. And I think he hated himself. And I think I was the closest person to him. And I never stopped holding him accountable. And I would not say, I wouldn't be like, he was an addict.
Right.
He didn't want to hear that.
Right.
So, you know, I think it pissed him off.
So you lived in a house. He paid for the utilities and the mortgage, and at least you had a roof over your head.
Yes.
You had to figure out how to get food. And
every apple was an 18% interest for accumulative for over a year. Yeah.
Everything else.
Yeah, lots of food for less and hustling for, you know.
And what do you do now?
What do I do now? Well, so when he passed away, we didn't have any cash. We did have assets. So I was able to sell the house in Tennessee, and that made money, and that allowed me to pay off all my debt in a day.
Good.
Like, immediately I paid off the debt. Which it was funny because I had that conversation with myself. Should I negotiate the debt down? You know, you can do that. But it still stays on your credit. And I didn't want to do that. I'm like, I just wanted to do the right thing. And so I paid off everything. I went through probate. I had a estate sale. Everything in my house in Tennessee sold for less than what he bought the dining room table for. I got stranded at CarMax twice trying to get rid of cars. Like, it was it was crazy. But I was able to pay everything off, and I had enough of a runway of finances to stay in my house here in LA for 2 years before I would have to move. And I wanted to keep my son in elementary school until he finished because their lives had so much instability. I didn't want to leave LA. And during the course of that time, I started figuring out the documentary. And Ralphie didn't actually own a lot of his own content, but I started figuring out how to get some of that content back.
He didn't own a lot of his own content?
No.
What does that mean?
Like his specials.
Oh, his specials.
Yeah.
Now, he owned, obviously, all the stuff he filmed himself.
Yes. Well, very fortunate. Okay, so like the year before he filed for divorce, he wanted to get the lap band. So the reason why there's so much footage in this documentary is because he and I had this conversation many times. He wanted to have a lap band, and I was really against it. I think the conversation went, well, you could also put duct tape over your mouth. You've already cut up your stomach twice. Like, maybe you don't want to do anymore. But at this point, he was so ill. And I said, you know what? Like, if this is what you need to lose weight, like, we're going to do it. And I said, but let's record the process. Let's document it. So that way, because he had done Celebrity Fit Club and he lost quite a bit of weight on camera. And I thought, that keeps you honest. Let's roll. And so I hired this woman who came on the road with him and filmed for 9 months. And then it ended with him filing for divorce.
Right.
So that's that footage. So I had all that footage. Yeah. So I knew I had something magical on tape, but I didn't have his stand-up. So I started trying to figure out, basically, I became like a lawyer. I'm starting to call the different companies, figure out how to get his content back to the estate.
Yeah, who owns it.
And I had a lot of really kind people along the way get me back his content. Some people gave it to me. Some people sold it to me at a reasonable price. And I have a very good friend, Mike, who we formed a company together. He's brilliant. We call it Comedy Genius. I call him the genius. And he started posting it, and it aggregates really well online.
Yeah.
And, so between that and, like, also doing gigs and stuff, I've been able to, like, I feel like I'm a big success story. And the company has grown. Very, very small company, but we have a couple of other clients, and we post. And that's how I also figured out that maybe I don't need to just give away my documentary. Maybe I can distribute it myself, because we've been really successful at distribution. Well,
let me give you a plug then.
Okay.
Because it's kind of interesting. Come What May is the name of the doc. It's really compelling. You can see it at the Laugh Factory in Hollywood. Is that true? Tonight.
Oh, no, not the film tonight.
Oh, sorry.
So tonight is the tribute show.
Oh, the tribute. Sorry.
Yeah.
Because they're also doing a live show along with the showing of the doc.
It's confusing. So the Laugh Factory has been awesome, and they wanted to do like sort of a tribute show to kind of like a preamble to the actual screening of the film.
Uh-huh. And then the one on April 30th is sold out. Dr. Drew's going to be
So the 28th is pretty much sold out. I think we have some tickets in the front 2 rows. And then the 30th, Drew, pending his grandchild being born, will be there.
Oh, that's right. Sorry. Yes. 28th sold out, almost sold out on the 30th, and that's a Lemley.
Yes.
In NoHo.
Yep.
And so where should people go if they want to find out anything about this? ComeWhatMayFilm.com?
ComeWhatMayFilm.com. If you can't remember that, then you can also go to social media. We have everything kind of like up on Ralphie's page, up on my page. So, yeah.
Well, congrats on a great doc, and I look forward to talking to you next time we have something out. Rudy Pavich is going to come in and do the news right after this. Hims. Hair loss does not fix itself, and the earlier you act, the better. Hims makes starting simple with a 100% online process and personalized treatment plans delivered straight to you. I recently signed up, and it was the simplest thing ever. I literally just did it from my phone in 5 minutes. They have flexible subscription options and access to 24/7 provider support. Hims gives you personalized treatment plans that put your goals first. Trust me, you'll feel a lot better with that hairline right where it should be. It's Hims, right, Dawson?
For simple online access to personalized and affordable care for hair loss, ED, weight loss, and more, visit hims.com/Adam. That's hims.com/Adam for your free online visit. hims.com/Adam. Featured products include compounded drug products, which the FDA does not approve or verify for safety, effectiveness, or quality. Prescription required. See website for details, restrictions, and important safety information. Individual results may vary based on studies of topical and oral minoxidil and finasteride.
Morgan and Morgan. Oh, yeah. I know a lot of people have been hurt in accidents. Wasn't their fault, and they tried to tough it out. No lawyer, no help. Just hoping the bills and the pain would magically sort themselves out. Spoiler alert, well, they don't. And that's where Morgan & Morgan comes in. Morgan & Morgan is America's largest injury law firm. They've recovered more than $30 billion for over 500,000 clients. That's a serious track record. So if you're injured because someone else was negligent, you deserve to be paid. Don't try to white knuckle it alone. Reach out to Morgan & Morgan and let the pros fight for you. It's Morgan & Morgan, right, Dawson?
If you're ever injured, you can check out Morgan & Morgan. Their fee is free unless they win. Yes, that's right. Their fee is free unless they win. To learn more, go to forthepeople.com/Adam or click the link in the description below. To learn more, go to forthepeople.com/Adam or click the link in the description below. This is a paid advertisement. It's time to check Adam's voicemail.
I just saw your show, and there were protesters hitting the gate of an ICE detention facility with dildos. I don't understand why ICE agents don't fill the water cannons with Vaseline and just spray them down to get rid of them.
You can leave us a message at 888-634-1744.
Somewhere someone showed me clips. Rudy Pav's going to do the news of water cannons with dye in it, and we're having to. First off, I would love to explain to our founding fathers why we needed 171 non-lethal interventions like tasers and rubber bullets and peanuts we fire at people and rubber. It's like, how about a fucking musket to the head? Yeah. Just a musket ball right to the fucking jugular. And it's like, you do understand that in this country, we probably spend $1 billion a year on non-lethal weapons. Like, we're going to fire bean bags at people. We're going to tase people. We're going to get water cannons. We're going to put pepper spray. It's like, how about you fucking kill one of them and then they just go away? I'm all for that, although it doesn't seem to affect them. But no. Yes, I'm all about the water cannon. And there's not a lot of jobs I would do for free, but manning that water cannon, I would first off, I'd be up on top of that sitting in that turret on top of that tanker truck, and I'm going to revise it. There's not a lot of jobs I would pay to do.
Yeah.
I would go, what are you paying the water cannon guy now? And they'd be like, he gets $27.50 an hour. And I'm like, I'll fucking double it, and I'll put it right back in your pocket. I just need a few hours. I would get up there. I would look for anyone wearing, let's say, a Bruce Springsteen T-shirt. They'd probably be like, there'd be, they'd find me. I'd find them. Like, they're guys. I might start with the elderly women because they'd fly the furthest when I hit them with the cannon. You know what I mean? And there's something, I don't know why, the 19-year-old dude or chick I can almost tolerate, but the 73-year-old woman, I'm like, don't you you're going to die soon. This is it.
That's all you want left?
You're taking this shit all the way to the tomb, huh?
Yeah.
I feel that way about Jane Fonda. Like, oh, hold on. She's going to bitch about America. Like, she's literally going to, when she's in her hospital bed clinging to life and she can no longer have enough breath so we can hear her, she's going to get a steno pad down and write USA sucks and, like, just hold it up before she dies because she can no longer speak. Like, I would love to operate that fucking water cannon.
It's like, move over Nitro from American Gladiators.
That's
I'm going
right.
to take this guy on. Yeah. It's funny. I see the dye in
I would
there.
dress like Nitro.
Yes,
You're right.
hell yeah. I see the guys with the dye in the water cannon, and I bet the protesters come back and go, well, there was chemicals inside of it.
Yeah.
Like, well, RFK was trying to tell you guys, take it out of the food, take it out of the water.
Yeah. So anyway, I don't know. Someone's just going to have to get shot and killed again. But that doesn't stop them, actually. You're right. I keep saying we need another Kent State type situation. Maybe 5 this time. All right. What do you got in the news? Oh, first, I don't know why, but Rudy's a comedian. People get accused of stealing jokes. I would like to see Shane Gillis's joke first, if I could do this. Shane Gillis joke came up on my feed. I like Shane, and I think he's funny. And I was just like, if there's a clip of Shane Gillis that's 3 minutes, I'll watch it, or 2 minutes, because I like it. So here it is from, it's about 5 years old.
Special Olympics is a good program. It's great. I just feel like the guy who came up with it had to be like a real risk taker. You know what I mean? That's a wild thing to suggest for the first time. Just some guy in a board meeting, like, I got an idea. We should be racing these motherfuckers.
All right, you can pause it there. All right, and then I was watching, and I was like, that sounds familiar. And it sounds familiar because 20, let's see, I did the math, like 20 years ago or 21 years ago, I used to write these bits called 1780s Guy. It was interstitial when I was doing a late night show. I don't know if you ever saw 1780s Guy. I probably showed it to you.
Yeah.
And I was like, that joke sounds familiar. And it's interesting. I don't think Shane stole that joke, but this is the joke from 21 years ago that I wrote.
That was Adam Explains Genital Piercing to 1780s Guy.
Huh?
And now, Adam Explains to 1780s Guy. The Special Olympics.
And they race them? I don't.
That was Adam Explains the Special
so
Olympics.
Same punchline, and they race them. And it's also, the premise is the same in that you're explaining it to somebody, but that's the way the human mind works.
Yeah, the parallel thinking there, especially for a joke writer, is race it's one syllable, it's easy, everybody knows what it is. Swimming's a little too hard. Plus,
I don't think the joke, sorry, I don't mean to say no. And they race them as sort of implies too that you bet on like horses and dogs and stuff like you race camels. Like it implies for our sport and we race things for sport and entertainment. Swimming, not really. We don't gamble on it or whatever. But anyway, same joke.
Yeah.
All right.
Funny.
Great minds. It is a good joke.
Yeah.
All right, what do you got in the news?
Joe Rogan back. Excuse me, I'm going to screw this up. I hate this. This is the other thing I've asked about. The blue, have you noticed that? Do they print this off in blue and then you hit it with the highlighter and then you can't see it? I can never see it. Yes, I got to do. I should be more on top of this. Joe Rogan backs Spencer Pratt's L.A. mayor campaign. The reality star is hoping to unseat Karen Bass, who is running for re-election. Even though Joe Rogan now lives in Texas, he still has thoughts on who he wants to be the next mayor of Los Angeles.
Well, let's hear it.
For sure. Listen, man, I'm voting for you. I can't vote for you, but I'm rooting for you. I mean, if I lived in Los Angeles, no question whatsoever, I would vote for you.
So here's the deal. People go, Spencer Pratt, what's that guy know about running Los Angeles? What does he know about governance? What does he know about running a major city? What does he know? He's a reality star. And my answer is, I don't give a fuck. He doesn't have bad ideas. So I don't think people really fully understand this. There's like two ways you can govern. There's three options. There is the way I would like, all right, potholes and red light arrows and traffic and all the stuff, homelessness or whatever. First off, I like his stance. Spencer's going to be on this show. I like his stance on everything, but that's fine. Then there's another way you can govern. You can be inept and just kind of be like, I don't know anything about fixing potholes or whatever. But then there's a third category, which is I like potholes. And that's what we got now. We have a bunch of Marxist, socialist, fucking retards that are tearing this place down. I wish they were just inexperienced or inept. They have an agenda, and it's not what you want. And so it's basically like saying, who would you like to decorate your home? And I would say the finest decorator with the most exquisite taste in the land. And then you'd go, okay, what about a person that had no experience decorating? I'd go, well, I don't know, maybe it'll work out. Maybe they'll still pick out a nice sofa, All right, what about a horrible, destructive decorator? It's like, no, that's going to fuck my house up. So I don't want that person. Yeah, but the horrible, destructive decorator has a lot of experience. And I go, I experience fucking up people's houses. I'll take anyone off the street over Karen Bass or over Nithya Raman. Nithya Raman wants to tear down beloved tree houses, pull down U-turn signs in gay cruising zones, and blame Toyota for catalytic converter theft. That means she's dumb. Her priorities have nothing to do with me. Meaning, here's what I'm saying. All right, it's perfectly fine. Nithya Raman is the odds-on favorite right now. Okay, here's what I want. With my example, so her thing is I want to go down to the gay pride area and rip down no cruising signs, and then I want to yell at Toyota for making a catalytic converter too easy to steal. Okay, but I'm also going to tear down that treehouse that everyone in the neighborhood loves. It's been there for 20 years. Okay, under my regime of the person who just doesn't know anything, treehouse stays, gay U-turn sign stays too. They're not doing anything. But she's doing the opposite. I want the treehouse up, bitch. You're tearing it down. So you got a lot of experience tearing shit down and fucking up this city. I'll take no experience fucking up this city. I'll take a person who goes, the treehouse. Yeah. Does it hurt anybody? No. The people enjoy it? Yeah. Well, why are we talking about it? That's what I'll take. And why are there U-turn signs on Hyperion? Well, gay guys cruise up and down, and they do a U-turn, and then they cruise up and down, and then they meet their gay partner, and they bang on people's shrubs. And I'd go, well, I don't want them doing that, so leave the fucking sign up.
Yeah, you know where they could do that? In a treehouse.
Right.
Keep it up.
Take the sign and point it toward the treehouse. Yes. Leave the fucking U-turn sign up, and leave the treehouse up, because it's really got nothing to do with me, because I got to work on potholes.
Yeah. I've heard this 3 times already. People go, you mean the guy from The Hills, the guy from the reality star? Well, yeah, of course he wasn't mayor material back in 2001 when he was filming this.
By the way,
he grew into it.
First off, I've seen what all the politicians with all the pedigrees are up to. They're fucking shit. Half of them are lawyers. Half of them went to an Ivy League school, and they're fucking shit. Oh, Nithya Raman. Nithya Raman went to Harvard, and she's fucking retarded. She's a retarded person who got a brain rack. She's part of the, what is she, the socialist? She's a
Democratic socialist.
She's a democratic socialist that got her brain scrambled in Harvard. And you want to let her loose on the city? I'd rather have a dude who just grew up fucking skimboarding in Huntington Beach.
Yeah.
By the way, I'm the dude. You want the dude from the Man Show? I don't care. Everyone's from somewhere. Everyone did something. These people are actively destroying Los Angeles. They're actively doing it. I'd rather have a guy with zero experience.
Actually, looking at Nithya Raman's bio here, first line is, she's an American urban planner. But she's not planning any builds, just destruction.
Her urban planning is taking down tree houses that people like. And taking down U-turn signs
and
so homos can't
just
cruise.
Vote against the homeless encampment cleanup thing? She won't tear those down.
She doesn't want to tear any of that down. And there's a great tape of her, I think, somewhere sort of going, well, what's the difference? Someone said, look, the homeless encampments can't be within 500 feet of a school. And she's like, what's the difference? I have no she's a fucking communist. Yeah. So, would you rather have a guy working in your warehouse who didn't know, who wasn't an expert at driving a forklift, but would learn, or at least had a good attitude about wanting to drive the forklift as best they can, or somebody who knew how to operate a forklift, but was going to destroy your factory with it by ramming everything?
Yeah, if anything, take a look around, and when somebody does give a suggestion, not poo-poo it right away. Not just shit it down every single time somebody goes, well, maybe somebody has a better idea. It feels like every time.
Her ideas are shit.
Yeah.
And they're going to be shit, and it's not a coincidence. These aren't coin toss situations. Their plans are bad, destructive plans. They've been in charge for too long, and that's why people are moving. So this stay the course thing is totally insane to me. All right, what's your next story?
Rosie O'Donnell reacted to the sexual misconduct allegations against former Democratic Congressman and California gubernatorial candidate Eric Swalwell in a video. Here you go.
Let me just say this with her. I don't know if she did this or not. You can't have you without filters on and then you with a filter on that makes you look like Pippi Longstocking. It's too jarring.
Yeah.
The real Rosie's got deep crow's feet and crevices and cracks all over her face. And then there's this one that makes her look like Pippi Longstocking. And I just say you can't toggle back and forth. You got to just pick a lane. Mm-hmm. It's too jarring. All right, here we go.
Country when you're there. Like, you can't help but feel it. Now, can we talk a little bit about Eric Swalwell?
Okay.
I know that guy. In the what kind of way? Like, spoke to him on the phone a couple times. Donated money to him, I believe.
Good for you. Good girl.
Talked about him in some public appearances years ago about how I believed in him and
sure, because he hates Trump.
And two
He wants to destroy California.
Standing up to all those people when he, berates them for their moralist behavior. Mm. And then all this comes out about him.
Uh-oh.
And
hold on a second. Are we at the point where we just have to film? Everyone's just going to film themselves talking about just... So I used to like the Star Wars series, but then that one came out that I didn't like, so... Not. I don't like it now.
Every opinion needs to be shared.
Yeah, okay.
Insane.
This is a guy, you gave money because he's a Democrat, and you have a lot of money, and and he hates Trump, so you got fooled by him. But then he did something bad, and now I don't like him. Okay, let me get my steno pad out, bitch.
That's how it works.
See. So you're all for the guy pre-rape, but then he turns into a rapist, and not so much. I think. Well, we got to hear her out. Maybe she's going to surprise us at the end saying, I gave him more money.
It's heartbreaking to me.
Oh.
And I wrote him. I wrote him a little message, and I said, Bill Clinton broke my heart, and now you did too. The conclusion I've come to, men suck.
Oh, well, now hold on a second. First off, what does she care about men? But number two, if Bill Clinton broke your heart in 1996, and then you get to 2026 with Swalwell, that's a pretty good run. You know what I mean? That's not too shabby. It's like a factory saying, last injury 32 years ago.
Sure.
You know what I mean? I don't know when Clinton, I'm not sure, I can't remember the Clinton year, around 96, I'll say. But the whole point is she had she put together 30 years.
Not bad. Also, I don't trust anybody who wears snowman shirts outside of December.
Yeah.
I'm not a fan. Like wearing a Rams hat outside of the season. Knock that shit off.
Yeah.
I don't like it.
What? You mean Green Bay hat. You mean
well,
Rams.
I'm trying to be topical here.
Okay.
Locational, yeah.
All right, so let's hear. So she's had her heart broken. She wrote him a note. Can you imagine?
Oh.
Rosie's got a note for you. I'd be like, all right. Here we go.
Men suck. The way that they are physiologically, they can't sort of control their sexual urges.
Okay.
She's got a little Trump in her. Urges.
This is what I find.
What she finds.
And all of these things now coming out.
I think we got a pretty good handle on our sexual urges around Rosie, though, don't we? I feel like I can tamp mine down.
Yeah. Her, Lena Dunham. Yeah, I'm good. Yeah, we're good.
Yeah, you probably experience a fair bit less harassment than the average gal.
Sure.
All right.
Yeah.
But she's right. The guys have urges. There's a biological thing. I don't know. If you can just be born gay, why can't you be born with urges?
Yeah, I agree.
She's a born gay arguer. I'm an urges arguer.
Yeah.
I got urges, babe.
There's an old David Cross bit where he talks about how, they took down a bunch of statues in museums that depicted penises because children might get aroused. And he was like, I don't know. I've been walking through my entire life, not pulling my dick out at museums. Just leave it up. I know everybody has urges. You know what we do? That's why there's the internet, and we go back to our houses and we wait till our girlfriends go to bed, and then we go downstairs in the basement and we take care of that.
I got a note from my doctor saying I could fly with my urges and that I could actually use my urges like they'll do with indigenous people can do peyote. I'm sort of urge grandfathered in, so I'm allowed to apply my urges. One more story.
All right. So remember when Great Britain was the most wealthy empire on earth? Well, now Alabama is even richer than them. British people thought they were very wealthy. Sure, yeah, New York, California, and Texas might be a little bit wealthier, but the average Brit makes a little bit more than people in Mississippi, Arkansas, and Indiana. When it comes to actual wealth in the great empire that was once Great Britain, they rank 51st, so less than all of our states in the United States.
Europe is dying like Canada is going to die. Like these sort of formally thriving white nations are just fucking destroying their culture and their nation, and they're just going to fucking die on the vine. And everyone is like, that's racist. And like, maybe it is. Go ahead. You fucking ruined it. They ruined, Canada's getting ruined. Poland and Hungary aren't really going for this shit, but the Brits, they're all just going down to Canada. Australia's fucked themselves up. Like, they're all just going to go down that road.
Start handing out the Magna Carta again at school. Be like, let's follow this shit. This is when this all started. We were great back in the day.
Yeah. All right, you got one more?
Yeah, we can do one more real quick. Let's see. So, RFK. We are making foster care great again. If you remember, Biden excluded Christian families from the foster care system, excluding an entire class of people because of their religious beliefs. It was told that and told states to actually pass laws refusing families who had certain religious beliefs, mainly Christianity. Before, it was one child for every one home. Now, because of excluding Christians, it's now become two children for every one home. And now we are taking that out of the equation and starting to go back and allowing more Christian people to be able to foster children. I don't understand why that's a problem.
It's a problem because if you foster a 9-year-old, you have to agree that you'll pay to get his dick cut off if he feels like his dick is haunted.
Yeah.
And if you don't sign up for the dick cutting off, if you don't agree with mutilating kids that are severely troubled mentally. If you don't agree to mutilate their bodies, then you can't be the custodian of them. And by the way, next thing you know, you're going to be talking about the 10 Commandments at dinner. Please.
Yeah.
We don't want any of that. We want fucking heretic, lunatic, fucking lefty LGBT nut jobs who were molested their whole fucking life, whose brains are scrambled to hurry up and inject a bunch of hormones into these people so they can scramble the kids. And if they're gay, they got to find them There's Kenner makes a toy called My First Cock, and they have to go down to the third toy aisle at the Target that's in San Francisco that Gavin Newsom mandated. We need a gender-neutral toy aisle, and you got to go buy My First Cock and then bring it home and teach them how to suck it when they're 9. Otherwise, you can't foster a kid. That's Joe Biden, everybody. But to be fair, it's not Joe Biden. Joe Biden's a brain-dead, old fucking grifter. It's the young fuck who's setting the agenda, who did the white supremacy. Remember, white supremacists, the biggest problem we have is the Christian nationalists and the white supremacists, right? So we have to declare an invisible war on them as if they're fucking problem. And we're not going to talk about the transgender community shooting up schools or any of that, because that flies in the face of all our shit. Focus, January 6th, and Christians.
Yeah.
That's what we want.
Yeah.
That's what happened. Joe Biden's a piece of shit, and his cabinet was a piece of shit, too. And I don't know why he gets this Uncle Joe, steady old guy. Bullshit.
Yeah.
These guys were destructive. And a lot of their policies were basically like, fuck anyone up who disagrees with us, tap their phone, get them thrown off the internet. Anything that has to do with COVID, fuck them up. There's an alternative opinion. And if you believe in Christ and you want to raise your kid in a sane environment, and no, you don't believe in cutting off 9-year-olds' genitalia, then we're going to fucking declare war on you. Good job, folks. I guess that's when the adults got back into the room. Remember the adults who got back into the room? That was an addled old grifter who used the auto pen and let everyone else make all the fucking decisions. That was whose cabinet was a fucking rogues gallery of DEI hires who were completely incompetent. That's the adults. That's their version of adults entering back into the room.
Yeah. Well, luckily people are catching on because his $300,000 speaking engagements are now going out the window. They're not bringing them in like they used to. So
he doesn't do speaking engagements. He does gibberish engagements. All right. Elaine Culotti, our old friend, is going to come in. She's got a lot of thoughts. She's got her finger on the pulse of everything California. She's got some Swalwell thoughts and gubernatorial thoughts, and we'll do all that right after this.
Pluto TV has thousands of free movies and TV shows.
We're coming at you with everything we got.
This is the mindset. Free. This is the mantra. Free. This is the mindset.
With movies like Pineapple Express, the entire Star Trek film franchise, and Gladiator, and TV shows like Survivor, SpongeBob SquarePants, The Fairly Odd Parents, and Ghosts, Pluto TV is always free. Huzzah! Pluto TV. Stream now. Pay never.
O'Reilly Auto Parts, yeah. What business are they in? Let me think. How about the business of keeping your car on the road? There are not many car issues I can't figure out myself, but if I can't, I always go to O'Reilly. They've got thousands of parts in stock, either in store or online, so you never have to worry if you're in a jam. They'll also test your battery for free, and if it needs to be replaced, they'll help you find the right one. So whether you're a car aficionado like moi or an auto novice, you'll see the employees at O'Reilly Auto Parts are helpful and they're friendly. O'Reilly is your one-stop shop for all things auto do-it-yourself. It's O'Reilly. Am I right, Dawson?
Stop by O'Reilly Auto Parts today or visit us at O'ReillyAuto.com/Adam. That's O'ReillyAuto.com/Adam.
All right. Elaine Culotti. There, I got it right. Running for governor, California. Culotti for California is where you go. Elaine is front and center in all the fire stuff and all the Palisade stuff and has her finger on the pulse of the scene, the political scene in California, Los Angeles. So Swalwell is out. What do you know about Swalwell?
Well, God, I mean, way too much now. I mean, I think we know a lot. But
what did you know before that?
Before I knew that he was involved in mortgage fraud, he was involved with Fang, the spy.
Right.
And then he was also heavily involved in J6. He was one of the J6 guys, and he was in twice impeaching Trump stuff.
Right.
He ran at the convention like 6 weeks ago on Gonna Get Trump. Mm-hmm. And worst of all for anybody here in California, he also incited Californians to break the law when it came to ICE. And so for me, these things were really, really crazy. Why does it take basically a rape victim to get a guy out of a race?
It's really weird. So we have a thing in politics, which is you are a shitty, destructive politician who fucking lies, and you're super destructive, but we need somebody to accuse you of rape for you to quit. So it's like, it'd be like saying, I'm the worst transmission repair mechanic ever, but I'll never get fired from the transmission shop. But all I do is fuck up transmissions, and that's all I've done for 20 years with words. But if the secretary said I molested her, then I got to hand in my wrench. And it's like, how about we get rid of these people for just being shitty at transmission workers? Right. So he's fucking horrible. So everyone on our side of the aisle is glad he's gone. He would have been the governor of California?
I think he was definitely tracking to be the governor of California. The problem is... Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So...
Yes. And now it's Steyer.
Tom Steyer, I can't wrap my mind around this guy. He seems fucking nuts. Like he's a billionaire who earned his own money, whose thoughts are abolish ICE. He runs a commercial. We ran a commercial. Tom Steyer is the one with the lunch lady, the fat lunch lady, who's like, Tom Steyer wants every meal free for everybody all the time. It's like, this guy's plan is get rid of ICE, open the border, and make all the kids fat with free food.
Well, first of all, he's a for-profit prison guy. You know that, right?
Yes.
Okay, so the for-profit prison, by the way, has 2 huge prisons in California, and they are ICE detention centers. And he just wrote a 5-point how to get rid of ICE out of California open borders policy, and he is running on it. That's what he's running on.
So is it basically just going, like, let's put it to you this way. California's like, it's fucking Mexico at this point. So is he just going, fuck it? Like, I'm just going to get all the Mexicans to vote for me. Like, is he doing this? I hate vegans. I hate vegans and vegetarians for the most part, and I love barbecue. But I'm looking around, and I see that almost everyone's a vegan, and almost everyone is a vegetarian, and now I'm going to change my barbecue policy and just go, I love vegans, and I want some tofurkey. I mean, is that basically what he's doing?
No, I think he legitimately got involved in for-profit prison, made $20 million out of Texas, and then he...
Hold on, he made $20 million?
Yeah. Yeah, and he divested out of the company, but he didn't divest...
I thought he was a billionaire.
Well, the $20 million's annual.
Okay. Well, then he makes $20 million a year.
You don't divest if you want to get out and have a better optic. You give that money away, or you donate it to charity. You say, "I'm sorry, I didn't know that's what it was involved in." That's not what happened. He sold it for profit, and he's in profit prison making business. It's terrible. You don't go around.
Well, but he wants to get rid of ICE.
And the ICE are detaining all those people in his prisons, by the way.
I know, but what do you think? So you're saying he legitimately just wants to get rid of ICE, not
I think
pander.
He legitimately has absolutely no power to do that or open the borders. It's a federal issue. And they're breaking the law.
All right, but that's not the question I'm asking. I'm trying to figure out what he wants to do with ICE.
He wants ICE abolished.
Why?
He wrote
Why?
Because he wants anybody that is incarcerated that is here to be able to stay here.
Right.
It's a total, it doesn't matter.
And why does he want that? Like, is he just saying it to get votes from Hispanics?
I think the whole concept of who these people are that are running is completely lost on all Californians. This is not a politician. This is a movement to take California. It's Democratic Socialists. They have it on their website. And on their website, they have a covenanted agreement. If you sign up and give a Democratic Socialist money, you are part of the Democratic Socialist Party where you co-govern. It's a co-governance agreement. Mm-hmm. This is going on throughout the Democratic Party. Last night, I went to the Sherman Oaks Homeowners Association meeting.
You did?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
And all the Democrats there, they know that there's a Democrat Socialist movement in California, and they don't want it, and they're Democrats.
Well, Nithya Raman is a socialist, and I would argue Bass is a socialist. I mean, she loves herself some Cuba and some Fidel Castro. So we essentially so the mayor of Los Angeles is going to be a socialist, essentially. So there's that. So you're saying the Democrats don't want it?
They don't want it. The Democrats don't. It's only 6%.
Why are they letting their party be hijacked?
All of the money that comes from the Soros groups and all of the funding for all of the Black Lives Matter and all of the protesting create 5,000 people in a ground game. They door knock and they win because they have a ground game. Imagine me going around South Central knocking on doors saying, "Hi, I'm Elaine Culotti. I'm running for governor."
Right.
It's not possible. And at the end of the day, if we don't have a middle party in California, we can't get out from underneath it.
So what do you think? We have the lunch lady, by the way. Yes. Tom Steyer literally says he wants to abolish ICE. And I have no idea why that's attractive to citizens who every other day there's a story about an illegal killing an American. I have no fucking idea. Anyway, we'll play the lunch lady.
Is this her?
I'm the lunch lady. I cook for over 200 kids every single day. You would be amazed by how many kids come to school hungry. Finally, someone got pissed off and did something about it, and that was Tom Steyer. Free school meals for every California kid.
That's
Your
not
baby,
free.
my baby. Free lunches, free breakfast every day. That's 3 million lunches a day. I get to make 200 though. That's why I trust Tom Steyer to be our governor, because he fights for us.
By the way, I don't know what kitchen she's working in. I was slopped at my school. Like, they just had packaged meat that sat in a big pot. They're not chopping onions at the school. Now. She's chopping up fresh produce. I got square.
She works at Crossroads.
I got weird square pizza. Is that a fancy school? You have to say that. All right.
Yeah, it's some fancy school somewhere.
All right. So now... All right, so Swalwell was going to be the governor.
Yeah.
And now he's gone. Good, he's a douchebag, but I don't even care about his rape history. He would have raped California, essentially, with his horrible ideas. Newsom's going to run for president, which I'm in love with that idea. I hope his wife just keeps talking. And then there is...
Katie Porter, baby.
Oh, Katie
She's
Porter.
number 2.
Who's number 1?
Number 1 is Steyer. Number 2 is Porter. Number 3 is Hilton. And then you can go back and forth. Like, sometimes Hilton is 2.
I've seen Hilton being number 1 sometimes. But let's just say, if it comes down to, and you can find Katie Porter and why I hate Katie Porter with what we talked about, Chase Bank, I think it was, Andrew. So here's the thing. If it comes down to Steyer and Hilton, you think Steyer's going to win?
I think this is what I think. In the jungle primary is the time to make a decision about who you want to be governor. And you can't do it if you don't have a 3-party race because you have 60% Democrat stronghold. So even if you get a Republican through the primary, then you're screwed on the other end of it.
So you need 2 Republicans.
You either need 2 Republicans or a Republican and a moderate and a middle person.
All right. Well, that ain't Steyer and that ain't Katie Porter. Now,
correct.
So here's the thing about Katie Porter, and also, Andrew, you can find the clip of her ending the interview, which is good. I like that. Then I'll tell you what. I'll get to this. We'll do the ending the interview one first. But here's the thing about Katie Porter. Katie Porter, they make a big deal because they say she dumped a pot of mashed potatoes on her husband's head. I don't give 2 fucks about that. If she was a good governor, I don't care who's a pot, whose head, whatever. And then there's that other clip of her yelling at her employees. I don't look at that as a strike. I like people who yell at their employees. I'm completely fine with that. Then there's her walking out of an interview, which I don't like because the person's asking follow-up questions. You're sitting down for an interview. I don't know what your rules are, but you should have no rules. But if you're a politician, you're being interviewed, your rules should be no rules. Whatever. Ask me anything you want. But here's her. Sorry.
What part of I'm me? I'm running for governor because I'm a leader. Single question you ask.
Every other candidate has answered.
I don't care. I don't care. I want to have a pleasant, positive conversation in which you ask me about every issue on this list. And if every question you're going to make up a follow-up question, then we're never going to get there.
Ms.
And
Porter,
we're just going to circle around.
I am an investigative
I have never
reporter.
had to do this before, ever.
You've never had to have a conversation with
to end
a
an
reporter?
interview.
Okay, but every other candidate has done this.
So I am going to make...
So you're not going to answer questions from reporters? Okay, why don't we go through? I will continue to ask follow-up questions because that's my job as a journalist, but I will go through and ask these, and if you don't want to answer, you don't want to answer. So nearly every legislative...
I don't want to have an unhappy experience with you, and I don't want this all on camera.
I don't want to have an unhappy experience with you either.
Oh, well, we don't have the clip. The clip is her leaving, though. This is the same interview, but the clip, she gets up and she leaves, which is weird because that's the only one I've seen. But that's the same interview, just a different.
She definitely gets up right after that. And
she
walks
gets
out.
up and leaves. Okay. Listen, we just went through this with Joe Biden, who locked himself in a basement and then turned out to be a deranged, addled, old race-hustling fuck. I don't want to go through this again. I want people to ask follow-up questions. I want them to be vetted. Joe Biden was not vetted. We thought we voted for something other than what we got.
Well, he never came out. I mean, Kamala Harris might be a write-in, but we'll get to that in a minute. Let me just finish something about Katie Porter, okay?
Yes.
Number one, you might not care about the potato thing, but to me, that's assault, especially if it really was boiling. So to me, you got a woman that can't sit through an interview, that yells at employees and dumped hot
Yelling
potatoes.
Employees don't care.
That's three things.
Everybody I like has yelled at their employees.
That's three things. That's three things that I think
no,
are
it's
unstable.
not. No, it's not. Mark Garagos has yelled at his employees. I love Mark Garagos.
I want to point out something more important.
Yes, yelling at employees is nothing. That's zero.
Katie Porter worked in the UC district, school district. She's a professor or something like that. She lives in basically discounted housing because of her state job. And she is still in that housing without that job, which is highly illegal. She needs to get out of her house. She lives in a $500,000 house that's worth $1.4 million.
Wait a minute. Say it again.
She lives in a $500,000 house that's worth $1.4 million.
What does that mean?
It is not housing for people that are not in the school district.
What does that mean? She lives in a $500,000 house that's worth $1 point.
She has government subsidies for the house so that she can live in it. It's student and teachers and universities have university housing.
So she lives in a $1.5 million house and she's being subsidized.
And she's being subsidized.
Okay.
But not with a job that allows for subsidies.
Right. Got that.
No longer employed.
I was just confused about that.
That's called taking advantage of the system.
Yeah.
And I don't like that.
I agree.
And I don't like the potato thing. I hate the potato thing.
First off, everyone's had a fucking blowout with their partner. Everyone has yelled at their employees. So remove those two things. Here's what I don't like about her. It's the chase. And I don't know. Don't worry about that other clip. We got it. She don't want to do an interview. She's a bitch. She's mean, obviously.
Mean
but listen, I'm sure Winston Churchill was mean. I'm fine with that. Go win the war. These guys can't win the war, but I'll show you why I hated her 5 or 6 years ago. And I didn't know who she was 5 or 6 years ago, but there was this Chase Bank situation, and I read it, and I was like, fuck this bitch. So here's the whole deal. Chase runs a campaign, and this is 2019. This is 7 years ago. 7 years ago. It's so weird how clips work because we can't find the one where she leaves, and that's the only one I've ever seen. So did they scrub it?
I bet you they took it down.
Oh, okay. Anyway, here's Chase. Chase is running a campaign, and it says, why is my balance so low? Meaning my bank balance. Bank account, make coffee at home. All right, don't buy Starbucks for $11. Bank account, eat the food that's already in the fridge. Bank account, you don't need a cab. It's only 3 blocks. All right. So basically, it's a campaign where you're talking to your bank account going, how come I don't have more money? And the bank account is saying, make coffee at home. Don't Uber everywhere. Get some exercise and take a walk. And why don't you cook some meals at home instead of going out to eat? And you would have more money in your bank account. These are all things that your grandfather would have said to you when you were young. If you said, I don't have any money, they'd go, well, you go out and you get $9 Starbucks coffees every morning. No wonder you have no money. And you eat at fancy restaurants. Why not cook at home? Okay, this is basic, normal American talk, and it's gone on for 2,000 years. Representative Katie Porter had to insert herself into this campaign and said, hey, Chase, try paying your workers more. Families aren't spending frivolously. They're trying to pay rent. Okay, first off, this is incoherent. It has nothing to do with what Chase is saying. I don't know what Chase pays their employees. They can not work for Chase if they don't want to work for Chase. No one says you have to work for Chase. They're not talking about rent. They're talking about spending frivolously, which is a universal truth that everyone should back, and especially poor people should not be spending on a bunch of expensive shit like going out to eat, coffees and tattoos and bullshit like that. But Katie had to get involved with this. I have no idea what her point is other than attacking Chase because Chase has money and her constituency are poor, dumb people. But this is the way she thinks. A bank sort of just says, save some money and stop squandering your money, people. And she has to insert herself into this very basic discussion, attack Chase, and then explain they're not paying their employees, and then explain these poor people are trying to make rent. She's almost as retarded as Nithya Raman is. And I don't want those people making policy decisions.
Well, she doesn't have any policy. Didn't you see her?
She doesn't have any policy.
Okay, she was at the convention, the Democratic convention, 6 weeks ago.
Trump. She led the fuck Trump.
She had a whiteboard.
It's just right.
She had a whiteboard.
Her policy is fuck Trump.
That is not.
All right.
Yeah.
I live in California. I don't care if you hate Trump. I care about wildfires.
Do you understand? These are your options. Okay, these are your options, Katie Porter and Steyer. And do you want to get into the other one? You want to talk about Mahan? Which one do you want to go to next?
No, we don't have enough
terrible.
time.
I know.
All right, we're all going to have to leave.
At the end of the day, we got to figure out how to bring up the middle because it's 41% of Californians, and it gives you a three-party race.
Let me give you a plug. Culotti for California. All right.
Can I give you one plug?
Yeah.
Okay, I went to the Belly Up on Sunday and saw you. It was amazing. For any of you guys who haven't seen Adam live, and the Vince Vaughn accent guy was insane.
Yes,
it was amazing.
Kite. I'm glad you had a good time.
I had a great time.
I appreciate it. All right. You can go to adamcarolla.com for all the live shows. Until next time, this is Adam for Rudy and Lahna Turner and Elaine Culotti saying mahalo.